Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to be back. Obviously, we've had a lot of success here in the past, so I think it feels really familiar for me and Coco as well, being back in Perth to start the event. So I think we're just going to try to take things how we did last year.
Coco?
Yeah, my first year was last year, and obviously it was a successful year. I would love to repeat that. And yeah, like Taylor said, it feels familiar being back here in Perth and looking forward to starting the year off strong.
Perfect. All right, we will open it up to questions. Who would like to start? Yeah.
Hey, Taylor, Andy from the ATP. Your third set win against Hubie last year in the United Cup final, was that one of your favourite matches of 2025? Would you count it there?
Yeah, I mean, it might be. It was a really cool moment to clinch that, and kind of just the occasion as well, like a third set tiebreaker, and for the United Cup, I felt like that was it was really cool, and I think winning in the team events is always more fun because you have the whole team to kind of celebrate with afterwards.
And it may not have got lots of attention, but you led the tour for aces last year. Do you feel like your serve's still getting better? Can it get better?
I don't know if it's still getting better, but I do think last year was probably my best serving year for sure. I felt like my serve has kept improving. I don't know if it will keep improving, but yeah, last year was definitely the best year I've had serving.
And Mackenzie, could I ask you, you've got some great memories, obviously, from Australia, especially in Melbourne. What do you want to get out of this week, and in general, how much do you enjoy starting the season here in Australia?
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved coming to Australia. It's pretty fun to be on a team. That's something I always enjoy. So I'm super happy to be representing and helping out how I can. Yeah, I mean, I've come down here so many times now in my career. I definitely like the conditions, so it's good to start here for sure. I think it's just going to be a fun week.
Hi, Coco. It's Cole with the WTA. So last year, obviously, in singles, you had a lot of success. I think you were perfect 5-0. I guess talking about the team format of this competition, kind of how does it help ease the transition to the rest of the year where you're essentially probably playing kind of individual, tournaments?
Yeah, I think for me, coming off preseason and be able to start the year in a team environment, it's like the perfect mix of like pressure and having fun. And obviously last year I remember being super nervous because I didn't want to let anyone down, but I was able to come out of that and do pretty well. So yeah, I'm hoping to be able to do the same.
And I guess talking about your off-season preparations, kind of, how was it as a whole, and kind of what were you focusing on specifically heading in, to this new year?
Yeah, I think just overall becoming better and more comfortable with my game. And I spent all my preseason in Florida. So well rested and looking forward to this year.
I think in your singles matches, you have two, new opponents in Solana and Jessica. I guess talking about them as opponents, what are you looking forward to playing, potentially someone new, to start the year?
Yeah, I think it's always tricky playing someone you never played before. So I guess I'll just take it match by match. I haven't really looked forward to Jessica's match yet because it's next. But for Solana, I mean, I know she can serve well. I haven't played her feisty player, so I know I have to compete for each point.
And then Nicole and Varvara, what are you guys hoping to get out of the week here in Perth, and maybe will we see you in doubles here?
Yeah, I mean, we're here to be on the team, to play and to support and do what we can. It's a team environment, and we just wanna have fun. But obviously, like they said, we're here to do our best and try and win if we can.
Yeah, it's just fun to be on the Team USA and support again, like the best way we can, and hopefully we're gonna win the whole thing.
Next, yeah, behind.
Coco Lock from Seven. A little bit off topic for a second. We'd just love to get your thoughts on Venus getting a wild card for the Oz Open.
I mean, yeah, she's a legend of the sport, so it'll be cool to see her back in action. Is incredible for the longevity of her career that she has, and yeah, she's a legend, one of my people I looked up to. So looking forward to seeing her back on court.
And you've got the win over a couple of times now, but is it still pretty daunting coming up against her if that was to happen?
I mean, she's a legend, so you're never going to underestimate her. it'll be funny if I drew first round again because I'll be like 3 times. But yeah, I mean, we'll save that if it happens.
Thank you.
Hi, Coco. Ben Smith from West Australian. Another strong year on tour for you. As you enter 2026, what do you think is what's the next step in your evolution, looking like?
I think just consistency. I would like to, go deep in all the slams this year. And yeah, obviously, I would like to touch #1 ranking. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, I think just being consistent throughout the year.
And Taylor, your 4th straight year finishing in the top 10. When you kind of reflect on the last 4 years and the road ahead, what do you feel like is the next stage for you? Like, do you feel like you can narrow the gap between yourself and Yannick and Carlos?
I think over the last 4 years, I feel like I've continued to improve a lot as a player and become just a much better tennis player. I think the one thing that I've been noticing now is the body just has to be able to keep up with it. It's a lot of demand kind of playing so many matches that you do when you're, I guess, a higher ranked player. So I think there's no question to me that I'm going to keep improving as a player, but I think the biggest thing ahead of me is I have to stay healthy and my body has to feel strong like it did, my first year in the top 10 in order for me to, keep pushing it to the demands of the level of tennis that needs to, I guess, be played to keep up with the very top guys.
So Taylor, that was amazing about the aces last year. Is there a trick? Was there a secret sauce as to why you're serving so well?
I think the other parts. I think I was returning a lot worse last year, so I had to make up for it with better serving.
And you're a United Cup veteran, and the USA as a team are so dominant at this tournament. What is it about the United Cup that USA rises for, and how does it set you up for the rest of the year, Taylor?
I think it plays to the strengths of our country. I think we have such amazing women's players, and we won it. Coco's first year was just last year, and obviously we won it beforehand as well. And then when there was the first year we had it with the top 2 men and top 2 women, I think that favors our country even more in that kind of format. So it's great to just feel like we have such a strong team all throughout. And for me personally, I've always felt like I play a lot better in the team competitions.
And then in Coco, coming to Australia, coming to Perth, and then going over to Sydney and then Melbourne, do you feel like there's a good crowd contingent, a lot of US compatriots, I guess, or US people coming out to support you?
I'll be honest, no. I feel like we're definitely in the tennis department the worst when it comes to that. So I've always said I wish our country and other places would show up throughout the world as we see like maybe smaller countries support. But I also think it's just because of our country is good in so many sports, so like it's just hard. But yeah, I definitely think there are Americans that come out more in Melbourne than necessarily here, but I would like to see some more Americans if we make it to Sydney than there were last year.
So if there's less US support, do you feel like you're almost, despite being a top-seeded team, almost underdogs when you come to playing?
No, because we're the #1 seed, so there's no underdog in that standpoint. But yeah, we played Poland last year, and the stadium was still pretty rowdy. I think maybe necessarily if they're not Americans, I do think we get a lot of support from people who are just fans of us that may not be from U.S. But yeah, I would like to see a little bit more red, white, and blue in the stands in these team competitions.
And when it comes to your preparation before games, before tournaments like the Oz Open or even the United Cup, how far in advance do you look at your opponents, or do you live very much in the moment and just that next match, or have you got an eye to try, maybe even watching Sabalenka or those top tennis players as you're heading in towards a big tournament?
For me personally, I just look the next match. I always say you got to win the match before you get there, and then you worry about that later. And tennis is one of those sports that 1 week can change your season. So a player can be playing like this 1 week and the next play unbelievable. So yeah, I think for me, I just like to look one match in advance. But I always watch tennis. I love watching tennis, so I'm watching it on a fan standpoint, not necessarily always like scouting.
You may have answered this the other day, but who's your favourite tennis player to watch at the moment?
Ooh, I mean, Yannick and Carlos are pretty fun to watch. I like watching Daniil just because you never know what he'll do on the court.